This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings, winners, and welcome to Unveiling Reality. How's everybody doing out there? I'm your host, Winning Reality. I hope you are living well. Let me say hello to all my VIPs in the front row. Daisy Girl Williams, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Happy you're here. First one in. T-Rex Trucking, waving hello. You know he doesn't pay property tax. Jacob Peets, hola, my man. What's going on? And Caitlin comments with the green hearts and the hugs. How you doing, Caitlin? Cool, Gabriel. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? Hey, man. Hope everybody is doing great tonight, man. Wow, what an exciting week! It's just been full of all kinds of fun stuff, from meme copy and streams to Divinity Said streams on Rumble to Madcore Mofo streams here on YouTube to the Overly Expert had some streams, and I mean, there's all kinds of streams going on, and there's a lot of them around the same kind of thing. There's a lot of what you call drama. I mean, people are, drama is a part of life, but it's also something that we can work on. And a lot of people, hey, Iris, how you doing? Jessica Reloaded, welcome, welcome. Yeah, a nice new picture. You got a new picture. That's awesome. We new avatars to say. I should know that word. But man, we talk about it a lot, but how many people has ever really delved into the topic, right? I came across this topic a while back. I thought I'd do a special show tonight. I know that we're doing the open conspiracy series. And like I said, it's not going to be linear, right? It's going to be here, and there, more often than not. But it's not going to be something that I feel like I got to do every single week till it's done, right? I'm going to kind of like, feel free to veer off the path a little bit. And I think that this topic right here is going to fit well into solution culture. That's why I'm bringing it up. I think it's something we can all learn about. And I think if you stick with me, you're going to learn something tonight, and you're going to also learn some preventative measures, like where to be in the situation, how to get out of drama, how to avoid drama in new ways, and at least have names and definitions for it if you're already practicing some of these skills. So it's really great. It's a real great topic. And you'll be able to also place drama that you're familiar with into these categories as well. Hey, Madcore, how you doing, man? Welcome, welcome, man. I had a blast tonight over on your channel. Thank you for having me again. And T-Rex Trucking. Oh yeah, and if you haven't seen the stream we did tonight, I would highly recommend going and watching it afterwards, because it is definitely worth it. It's one for the history books. Let me just say that. T-Rex Trucking and more. 569 super chat. Remember, I don't pay property tax. That's right, everybody. Remember, he doesn't pay the property tax.
First of all, I don't pay property tax.
That's right. Hey, welcome, Rose. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Talking Trash and Choose. Welcome. So happy you're here. All right, man. We're getting loaded in. Hey, this is gonna be a great topic. You guys are really, really gonna enjoy this. I can try to explain it to you, but I got like 3 different videos tonight we're gonna watch and talk about. And I think the first one really gives us the history on it. That's why I picked it. They're kind of similar, but they have different takes on it. So I think I like them enough to say, okay, I'm gonna do all 3 of these. And what you're going to find out is there's a little triangle that goes on in drama situations, right? And there's 3 main characters that play a role in drama as we know it, right? And so let's get into the history, and that way we can talk more about it. So let me go ahead and, hey, what am I doing way up here? Let me get back here. All right. That way we can see all y'all back there around me with your lights of truth shining bright. And let me go ahead and pull up this first one. Yeah, this is it. This is a transactional analysis. It's from transactional analysis games, and Lauren Crease. So here we go. Let me pull this up and share it out. And away we go.
This is a model to help us understand how conflict arises between people, often in dramatic or
She's Australian
relationships or interactions. And it was conceived by a guy called Stephen Cartman in 1968. And it involves 3 different roles. One that's kind of called a one-down role, and 2 that are called one-up roles. These 3 roles are the victim, the rescuer, and the persecutor. And I think understanding how these roles work can really help us to identify how we could be resolving potentially destructive interactions that are quite draining on our energy. So
And
let's
yeah,
start with the victim role. And I think the victim role is quite self-explanatory. It's the person who feels helpless and powerless, like they can never cut a break or they can never get ahead in life. They often think things like, this always happens to me. Another role in this drama triangle is the rescuer. And this person is someone who takes responsibility for other people's problems and they kind of make it their own problem. But at the same time, they don't really look at their own life, which could in fact be a complete mess. And they'll see people who might be going through a difficult time and think, oh, look at that person. They need help. I'm nice, so I'll help them. Or maybe something a bit more parental, like if that person did what I said, they'd be happy. And I think the dynamic that we often see play out between the victim and the rescuer is something that we see in movies and romantic comedies all the time. It's something that we almost think is normal, but it really is an unhealthy interaction. So the third role in this triangle is the persecutor. This is a person who is frustrated. They're kind of self-righteous and a bit of a bully. And they might think things like, they're wrong and I'm right, and they need to do what I say, or that person will get what's coming to them. Another thing that's really important to recognize about this triangle is that each of these roles move between each other. So
yeah. See, that's the thing is one person can actually be in all of these roles at different times, right? So they can actually be a self-fulfilling drama triangle. This was very interesting about it.
So, the rescuer can become the persecutor, or the persecutor can become the victim, or the victim can become the persecutor. So they all kind of move around. Another concept that's really important to understand when talking about the drama triangle is this idea of the starting gate. We tend to have this one role that we most naturally sort of enter into. So, for instance, one person might often go straight to the victim role, where someone else might jump into the rescuer role. And the other thing that's really interesting about this is that our starting gate role sort of is part of what we see as our own identity. And like I said before, we shift from one role to the other. Inevitably, we all end up in the victim role, feeling powerless and helpless and unable to do anything. And that's why it's really important to work out strategies for how to get out of this triangle. So I guess that brings me to the next question. How do we get out of this drama triangle? So let's take it by looking at each role again. So in the one down victim role, we need to become a survivor. In order to do this, we need to think like a problem solver and ask ourselves questions like, what do I want? And what steps can I take to get what I want?
Going into how to resolve it, right? But I think it's very interesting because you can see how one person can play all these roles, right? They can come across as a victim, right? But then through that victimhood, pity or whatever, they can turn into a prosecutor because they start playing the blame game, right? And then they can see somebody else that they want to bring into their drama and pose as the rescuer. Oh man, I'll help you out. Oh yeah, do what I say, and this will totally be the way for you, right? But then if that doesn't work out, then they could become like the prosecutor or the victim, right? Oh, they don't appreciate what I'm doing, or man, they're not listening. So they're the this is why they suck, and they start turning other people against them. It's like if you just imagine these roles, you can see how someone can kind of move around inside of this triangle and start spinning up drama, right? You're just kind of spinning around this triangle, and you're spinning up the drama around you or them and around others. And that people that love a lot of drama and spread a lot of drama are constantly rolling through these roles like a damn tornado. This is very interesting. So this is about how to get out of it if you find yourself in it, right? And if you're in one of these roles, if you've been spun into some drama, where you can jump off and where you can kind of like restart, and what the natural roles or the better roles to be in in these situations are, so you don't get kind of caught up in that tornado.
Another useful thing to do is to reflect on the good things that are going our way. So we can make a note of it in a calendar or a diary. Ask ourselves questions like, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for today? Or at the end of each week, we could ask ourselves, what did I achieve this week? So let's move on to the rescuer role again. If this is where you tend to find yourself sitting, you need to think of yourself as a teacher or a coach rather than as a rescuer. You need to remember the golden rule about teaching a man to fish. So you need to support and encourage the person in ways to identify and solve their problems rather than rushing in to solve it for them. You can ask them things like, what is it that you want to see happen in this situation? Or what do you think you can do to change this? Also, you need to make sure that you set boundaries. Setting boundaries around the time that you're able to listen to the person and letting them know that is really important. In some ways, it's a similar situation with the starting gate persecutor, who, like the rescuer, puts themselves in this sort of one-up powerful position. The difference is with this role is that you need to become a challenger. You need to be firm but fair in your approach to people. And to help the person recognize how you're feeling, you need to sort of address the consequences of their actions and set boundaries. So for instance, you could say something like, if you keep your side of the agreement, I can keep mine. As with a rescuer, it's important to remember to set these boundaries and recognize that this isn't your problem to solve. By freeing ourselves from this drama triangle, we are able to have happier, healthier relationships with people. We won't feel so drained and powerless. And we'll also be able to identify toxic relationships that we may, in fact, be better off without.
Yeah, there you go. There's a nice little introduction. What do you guys think of that? Let's talk about it in the chat. I thought it was really interesting when you kind of learn those roles, right? You can start to understand and see what role people are playing, and if they're perpetually in that role. Like, do they really want help, or are they just trying to play the perpetual victim, right, to get you into the drama? There's you think about it, right? Let's hear some chatter, but it's like you can think about some people that are out there that would fall into that role, right? And maybe a lot of times they don't even realize that they're in that role. So if you were to come across them like that, and you instead of becoming the rescuer in that situation, right, you would become the coach. You would do following the advice there. You would be like, and I'm kind of new to this too, so we're gonna kind of go through this together. But instead of trying to solve their problems for them, you help them solve the problems. It's that whole teach a man to fish, instead of give a man a fish, right? The whole thing, the whole like old saying. So I see questions here. Is a rescue the same as a white knight? I think depending on the situation, or it could be. I think a lot of times what some people call white knighting, is it like if your husband stuck up for you, would that be white knighting, or that would be in a proper fashion, right? But someone you didn't know jumping in when you can solve the problem yourself, right? You should be given time to solve the problem yourself, to work out the conflict on your own, showing that you're smart, independent, and strong. And then should it get to a point where it's unbearable, physically or mentally or by numbers, then to have people step in, well, that's appropriate, right? So when is it appropriate? I think it's the way that you answer that question. That's just my opinion, but I think that makes sense. Yeah, by the way, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. On the other side of the world, our Thanksgiving will be here on the East Coast. We'll be starting in a few hours, I guess. Let's see. Got lots of hellos. Let's see. Iris says, why I would never label myself a V. I definitely have my rescuer / predator, and didn't realize that dynamic until this most recent drama. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, a lot of times understanding this drama triangle can help identify the roles people are trying to play to suck you into the drama, right? It'll like boom, it'll like shine like a light now once you understand how these things come across and what people how people use these, right? And is it perpetual? That's the one thing that kind of stands out to me, is like, how perpetual is it? So that's how people get the label drama stirs or shit stirs, or constantly pulling it up. is they always are coming across in one of these roles and not adopting one of the more healthier roles, which we're going to learn is called the present, right? Or the present triangle, I guess. It's another great way to put it. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? Say hello to everybody. Hello, Ma. Outpost Nerd, what's going on? Leslie, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving, all. So great to see you. All right. Yeah, so that's the first run at the drama triangle, right? And what that's all about. So this next one takes the same kind of like approach, but does more of a linear line. It gets a little bit deeper into the triangle itself. Some of it's a little bit of a refresher. So if you're just showing up, you'll get a nice refresher here. But it's about a 3-minute video. It's not long, and it another one of these drawing videos. I like the drawing videos, and they will it still get a little bit deeper into it. So here we go, a little bit deeper dive, and away we go.
Are you working from presence or the drama triangle? Brought to you by the Conscious Leadership Group. Find them on the web at www.conscious.is. Conscious leaders know the difference between working from presence and working from the drama triangle. Presence is above the line, and drama is below the line. Most leaders and most organizations spend most of their time in the drama triangle. Drama is characterized by blame, wanting to be right, toxic fear, and adrenaline. Like good dramas at the movies, all drama has characters that play certain roles. The drama triangle has a hero, a villain, and a victim. The job of the hero is to seek temporary relief. The keyword is temporary. The hero is the one who gives a hungry person a fish sandwich rather than teaching them how to fish. The hero doesn't want others or themselves to feel bad, so they say and do things that make the immediate pain go away without facing and dealing with the core issue. When I'm exhausted from overworking, I hero myself by eating and drinking mindlessly, or surfing the web, or exercising. When another feels sad, I hero them by saying things like, "It'll be okay," or "I'll do it for you." The hero seeks value by being needed by others.
Hi,
The
Ellie.
second role on the drama triangle is the villain. The villain's job is to blame. I can blame myself, others, or blame the group. When I blame myself, I say things like, "I shouldn't have eaten that donut," or "I should work harder," or "I messed up that presentation." When we blame others, we say, "It's your fault we didn't get that project done," or "You didn't give your best effort." When we blame a group, we say, "They messed it up for all of us," or "They just don't get it." The final role on the triangle
Or they're trying to wreck my family. I can't resist that one.
is the role of victim. The victim is at the effect of. Life is happening to them. For the victim, a person, circumstance, or condition is doing something or not doing something that is causing the victim's life to be as it is. I can be at the effect of anything, including my boss, my kids, the weather, my job, the traffic, the economy, my body, and my mood. When I'm in victim, I'm feeling powerless. Every role in the drama triangle is a form of victim consciousness. And in the end, everyone is trying to prove that they are the biggest victim. When people and teams work in presence, the roles change. The victim moves from victim to being the
Here we go. Yeah, this is like working in presence, right? So this is the alternative to the drama triangle. How to change the roles, how to get out of the drama triangle, the proper ones we should kind of like fasten ourselves into and at these different points of interactions, right?
creator. They take responsibility for their lives and stop complaining about what is happening to them.
There's a lot of creators out here tonight, man. A lot of creators out here tonight. That's what we
The
do.
villain becomes the challenger. Challengers bring healthy pressure to the creator to support them in facing and dealing with their lives in a way that creates a breakthrough. Unlike the villain, they don't blame or criticize. In presence, the hero becomes the coach. The coach doesn't try to fix anyone. They see everyone as fully empowered creators of their own lives and seek to support them in taking responsibility for creating the life they most want.
So now taking a look at this right here. Where do you find yourself fitting in here, right? Do you find yourself there, you're more on this end of things or more on the other end of things? See, I know a lot of you, and I know a lot of you are more on this end of things. And the ones that are on the other end of things, they they tend to burn out and fade away. So, I think of like coming out of a bad situation, like a drama triangle, right? A lot of us become better creators, or better coaches, or better challengers, right? We get out there and we learn from the mistakes of being trapped in a drama triangle to evolve into these better roles and human interaction and working together, right? So, becoming a better creative, when you take responsibility for your own channel, you take responsibility for what you're doing, and get out there and put the effort into it. Helping people out, being a coach by not trying to fix people, not trying to take the responsibility on yourself, but actually just giving them the tools to do it, right? Like we do here on this show. Give the tools out to see through the veils of perception. And we'll take a look at the chart here in a little while. But giving the people the tools is kind of my goal here, is to give you to relay the knowledge and the studies that I've done, right? To walk back through them with you, and to give you the tools to see through the veils of perception, so that you understand how mind control works, how trauma works, trauma-based mind control works, and to be able to avoid those, to teach the younger generation how to avoid them, to be able to see clarity and to understand how to like identify the root cause issues, so that we can actually have a healthy society that's working on implementing root cause solutions, which is solution culture and other things as such. So this role of coach is kind of like, maybe like Shelly and her channel, right? Through to sharing her experiences and showing that, her bravery to get out there and address her challenges. She serves as an example, right? Passing along her knowledge as she goes through what she's been through, walking back through that and helping others that are trying to rise up to that challenge as well, right? So being an example for other people could be being a coach as well. And of course, and then challengers, not blaming, but saying, you can do it. Let's see you do better. Like getting out there and really raising it to the next level, right? So it's a real true support role, but also helping people have breakthroughs. Oh, see, now you get it. So get out there and do it.
Leaders and teams that learn to play in the creator, coach, or challenger roles of presence find they are more creative, engaged, aligned, and energized. They have more fun and get more things done.
Isn't that true? Right? Once you get out of this situation down here, I can tell you firsthand, when I got out of the situation down here that I was in, the creativity and the fun and the engagement and the energy all went straight up. More stuff came out, the shows got better, and this great things have been happening ever since, right? The relationships got better with people. It's something about, and that's the murk and the fog of being in a drama scene. When you're locked in it, you don't really see it until you learn to get out of it, right? And or until something happens where it's just like you leave it. And then you can look back and be like, wow, look at how much it was actually pulling me down. Look at how far down, what it kept me from doing. And especially when you start to engage and set yourself in a better position, right? You become more creative and aligned and energized. Things just start happening so much fluider, so much easier. And so yeah, I definitely have noticed a difference between then and now, for sure. I think everybody else has too.
So, are you working from present or the drama triangle?
There you go. All right. Not a really hard concept to figure out. So, but I want to get some more opinions on it. So, there's a lot of great insight out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Shelly.
I deserve good things. I am entitled to my share of happiness. I refuse to beat myself up. I am an attractive person. I am fun to be with.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
God, you're such a dick sometimes.
Way to start. Wait, nice intro there.
Because
You know the people love it.
I don't know that, but I hate it.
You know the people love it. I know it's your old gym
Oh,
teacher.
it's fine. Yes, it's wonderful. That makes them laugh. All right, fine. What can I do for you, Mr. Reality?
Well, hey, well, won't you tell me what you think about the drama triangle?
I don't know. I really I don't know. I don't have an opinion yet. I haven't taken it all in. I've been busy modding for your channel.
What the heck you doing here?
You invited me.
I know. I thought maybe you'd have something to say.
No, well, just break it down real quick for me. I'm a quick learner. Go ahead, because I know there's people that just joined.
Okay. Let's see.
Real quick, Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes. Okay, well, we have the drama triangle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'll pull the video back up. So then we have something to look
I don't
at.
have to play the video. I heard the video. I didn't get to see it.
Okay, you heard it. You didn't get to see it. I was gonna say there's
Mm-hmm.
this is the one up down. Here you go. This is one way to look at it, right? So we'll look
Yeah,
at we
share
won't play the video. I know it's right here.
Okay.
All right. So there's a drama triangle. This is one version of it. So you have the prosecutor,
Mhm.
the victim, and the rescuer, and they can be interchangeable and they can change roles, right? You can go from one to another. So what this does is it kind of puts this perpetual motion kind of thing going on, right?
It's a cycle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a cycle, or people could be more prone to stay in one role. There's always the oh, it was me, always a blamer, and always the one going, I'll take care of it, I'll do it. Always wanting to rescue people, victims, prosecutors, but never really taking accountability for themselves, right?
Okay. Well, the thing is, I think we all have a little. That's what I was thinking when I was listening to it. I think we all have a little bit of each in us. It's just which do you choose to nourish? Which one do you choose to grow? Do you want to be seen as a rescuer all the time? Do you need that? Is that something is that your role in life? Is it? Some people need to be the rescuer. I can fix them. I can go in there. I can save the problem. I can make peace. I can do whatever at all costs. Right. But then they have to insert themselves into the situation, and they tend to blow it up, I think. And the victim mentality is just, well, you know how I feel about that.
Right.
If you're gonna
the idea is that
there,
you're going to move
what's the
to
point?
you're gonna move to these roles, right? So the idea is that you could to get out of the drama triangle, the more healthier choices are these, right?
It's
So
a lot
instead of-
harder to be a rescuer, isn't it, if you haven't been a victim?
No,
I mean, the relatability. Where's the relatability?
Well, the relatability is just you don't feel sorry for yourself, but you think you have the you can fix everybody. So it's more like a fixing role, but they're saying that instead of being a rescuer, be a coach, right?
Okay.
Instead of being a victim, be a creator. Stay present, right? And instead of being a prosecutor, be a challenger. So these are better, more healthier roles for interactions, and this is the escape.
So you're going to take what you know and just make yourself better, try to make it into a healthier, more positive interaction with other people. Like try to put a healthier spin on it for yourself, a better, I guess, mental place, you would say. Because like a creator, what do creators do? I mean, why do we do what we do? Honestly, give me one good reason. I'm serious. I'm asking you. Give me one good reason why creators do what they do.
Because they want to create something.
Okay,
right?
because you
So
want to
we're
be
all creators.
You want to be a benefit, right? You want to benefit yourself. You want to benefit others.
Mhm.
Right? You don't want to tear things down. You want to improve. It's always about improvement. I mean, that's your thing, right?
Exactly, Ellie. Yeah, good point, Ellie. Yeah, you can get into that mode by not having no self-respect. You're not taking care of yourself, then that'll
Mhm.
put you into that victim position for sure. Great point.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you call somebody else up? because I'm doing
Like-
terribly tonight. You picked a horrible night to pull me on stream. I'm sorry,
Look,
sweetie.
Just because I say, hey, join me doesn't mean you have to. You can just say, nah, not tonight. I'm not feeling it. It's all good. But
I never know
tell
what you have in store for me, and I would never, just not show up. So they got to see me come up here, fall on my face. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy.
Hold on.
What happened?
This may be better. So sit through this.
Okay.
This is the one you may relate to better. No, this is the one where it's a more of a presentation, right? It's more of an explanation. And this guy does a really good job of really kind of getting real deep into it and explaining it and kind of be conversational about it. So better than the drawings, I think that you may relate to this guy better. So you can stick around and
thanks. You're sweet. Thank you, Rose.
All right.
Oh, Ellie.
This guy has a fairly new channel, so if you like him, go check him out.
Shine. It sounds so wonderful and simple, doesn't it? But of course, as human beings, we all have habits and patterns that we continually slip into that get in the way of us being who we could be. I'm Andrew Kane from
Hey Lex, how's it going?
roadtrack.co.uk. I particularly help people around people pleasing, codependency, rescuing, perfectionism, those habits where you're putting so much effort into looking after someone else or something else that you're blocking up the kinds of things that you could be yourself. And in this video, I want to show you a very simple model that will help you spot when things are going awry and give you some simple strategies to step up patterns so that you're ready to be the kind of person that you can be. To give you my sources, this is from a psychologist called Stephen Karpman, who called it the drama triangle, and also a book by David Emerald called The Power of TED, where TED stands for the empowerment dynamic, and his ways of stepping out of that stuck drama triangle. I'm going to give you my spin on that right now. If you find it interesting and useful, then go check out David Emerald's book. So let's crack on with our first picture, which is of a 1980s cartoon featuring a character called Dudley Do-Right. Now, Dudley Do-Right is the Canadian Mountie there on his horse riding backwards. And he's called Dudley Do-Right because he always wants to do the right thing. He's always trying to save the damsel in distress there, Nell Fenwick, who's tied to the railway tracks by the evil villain, Mr. Snidely Whiplash. And the three of them are stuck in an eternal struggle between them. The good guy, the bad guy, and the damsel in distress. And these kind of three points of a triangle come up again and again and again in our stories, in our myths, and in our lives. We can go back 2,000 years to St. George and the dragon. So St. George is literally the knight in shining armor. The dragon's like the bad guy, and the princess who St. George is rescuing is the damsel in distress, the helpless victim. And just because of our history, it's been presented in these as a good guy and a bad guy and a damsel in distress. But the truth is that we can all slip into any of those roles in our lives and get ourselves stuck. So I'm going to just talk about that in a little more detail and show you how damaging it can be and how you can get out of it. So our first character is this one, who Stephen Karpman calls the persecutor, who's saying essentially, I'm going to make you suffer. So it could be a bully, it could be someone who's been mean and critical, but the power of this model is it could also be a situation like someone losing their job, or it could be a bad habit like drinking too much alcohol or gambling too much, or it could even be the negative voice that people have in their heads that's making them suffer. But of course, the persecutor can't act alone. He or she needs to have a victim to persecute. So as the second part of our trio here is the victim who's saying, I'm helpless, it's helpless, there's nothing I can do. The person who's not willing to step into their power and do things to try and improve the situation, to stand up to the bully, to change their external situation, to escape and move away. And at its worst, of course, the victim even begins to collude with the bully. You know, if you've been in a situation where someone's been persecuting, being mean to you, and on one level, you start joining in with it, either by telling yourself that you can't handle it, that it's too difficult, that it's too hard for you, or by accepting some of their criticisms and some of their meanness as if they're true. And then you start joining in, it starts becoming part of your internal monologue. But then, of course, the victim's there, and then there's usually another third person who steps in, the kind of superhero, rescuer, fix-it character saying, I'm going to fix this for you. So in this case, our superhero is zooming in to come and fix the problem for that victim, which might be, if the person's lost their job, then maybe it's the kind of, the rescuer might be sending them job adverts every day. If the victim has an alcohol problem, drinking too much, the rescuer might be making excuses for them, trying to cover it up. Or if the victim is beating themselves up in their heads, the rescuer might be like trying to be super, super positive and trying to make everything right for them. And doing that to focusing all their energy on looking after that victim. So you get all these three characters in a kind of a triangle of the persecutor, the victim, and the rescuer. And what I'd like to notice is that everybody is stuck in this scenario. Nobody is free. The persecutor is stuck because usually the reason they're being mean and bullying and persecuting is because they've not dealt with their own issues. They've had a bad day. And so instead of dealing with that negative feeling, that difficult feeling, they're taking it out on someone else. They've had a bad patch of their lives. They've had a difficult upbringing, whatever it might be. Instead of dealing with that directly, they've given up that power and they're placing it all their energy into blaming someone, which is the victim role. The victim's stuck because he or she has given up their power. He's not willing to take responsibility. He's not willing to do what they can do to help themselves. And the rescuer doesn't have any power because he or she is putting all their energy into looking after the victim and none of their energy into looking after themselves. So all three characters, all three people in this kind of scenario, perhaps you can think in your mind to when you've noticed this coming up. If you're watching this video, I'm guessing that your default is probably to go to that rescuing position of trying to look after someone else. Everyone has their defaults, their things that they tend to gravitate to. If you're watching this, you probably flip into rescuer mode and get really drawn to someone who's acting like a victim. It can be like two magnets that just kind of pull each other together. Because, of course, I introduced them to you one by one, but they're just out there in the world, all of us with our little default patterns. And
I default to that more.
A north and south pole of a magnet come close to each other, they get attracted together and locked into that position, that dynamic. And the rescue is also interesting to me and to you in terms of people pleasing and codependency, because it's less clear, because we're told to be kind, right? We're told to be considerate. We're told to help people out. And that's true. But when you turn into a rescuing pattern and it gets stuck, then it can actually be really, really damaging, not only to you, but to other people. You've had the experience of it being damaging to you when you've been helping and helping and helping and feeling more and more tired and more fed up.
It also kind of puts you in the target role too, you know, in the cycle of narcissistic abuse, right? If someone's posing as a victim and they're trying to attract a fixer or a rescuer, they'll bait you in like that.
Yeah, and they know they can tell like the nurturers, they can tell the givers, and those are the ones they go after because they're like, oh, this person, that they're going to be an easy mark because they're going to see me feel bad and they're going to give it their all. And a lot of them have that like intuitive type of perception where they can just pick people out. They just know. They know how to read somebody. It might not be obvious, but they'll like be like, oh, this person's really nice. They're really nice. Oh, okay. I can get them to do whatever. Like I can get them to help me. I can get this. I can get that. And the rescuer becomes, you know, basically a victim of the victim. And that's not good either. I mean, a rescuer
they
has
switch the roles, right? They start to switch the roles around, and they'll go to the prosecutor role, and that's like then you're in the rigged game right there.
Yep. Because it will bring out a lot of feelings of anger and resentment, and you want somebody to hurt like you're hurting, even though you really don't. But it's just like, I think it's instinctual to just, you know, for me, I have a very bad default of anger. If you really hurt me, I'll lash out. It's the first thing, I won't let you see me cry or whatever. I'll lash out. And that, I mean, that's no way to be, because then I'm creating a victim in somebody else. And I set out to like help somebody, and instead I wound up hurting somebody. And that's just, I could see how you could cycle through them really quickly too, and get really lost and down on yourself. The way he said, you know, it gets stuck in your head and you create this internal monologue where you're always this thing. You either always have to be the giver, or you always have to be, you know, the one that's bringing like it's almost like you're like going for justice when you're the persecutor, because you think that you're like, oh, well, I'm getting even for this person, or I'm sticking up for that person. But really, you're just being a bully.
We got some pushback going. Hey, let's hear what people think. So Ellie doesn't agree. She says not every human is in that triangle. No, not necessarily, right? But this is the they're just saying these are the roles of drama, right? So if there is drama going on, it's usually these roles that are happening. And you're trying to point out.
Yeah, there's the good guy, there's the bad guy, and then there's the oh poor you. So it's like, okay.
Grim thinks about a lack self-reflection. I have to elaborate on that a little bit for me. Let's see. Rose says this could be interpreted differently for different people, but I get the idea. So Ellie says there are plenty of people who don't participate in the triangle just by just going on with their lives and routines. That's true. But
Sure.
they're probably going to find themselves into the other role, right? In the presence roles, where they see this kind of situation occurring, and they have the experience and the wisdom to, you know, take on one of the more creative, one of the present roles, where they can actually just kind of push the drama aside and politely kind of bow out of it.
But that takes somebody who's whole and who has their stuff together, or whatever. Like that takes a healthier mentality. I think that when you're a little broken, when there's something missing inside, like if you, I don't know, you skipped a step, or like you just have some trauma or some deep hurt in one area or another, you tend to fall into one of the three and push through each one at some point. Like the rescuer doesn't think to rescue themselves. The victim doesn't think to, you know, like pick themselves up.
Ellie's right. Not everyone has codependency issues, though. And that's true. But I don't think that you necessarily have to have a codependency issue to fall into one of these roles, right? If you think about it, have you ever been in one of these roles? So that's kind of like the thing, right? Jacob's saying, I agree with Ellie and Grim on this one. Maybe this is meant to address a plurality of people. Maybe it's meant to address specific people who find themselves in these groups. Yeah, it is. It's exactly what it is.
I mean, it's not
Because, you
meant
know,
for people that are just walking through their lives regular, like la la la, and not experiencing the drama. It's the people that find themselves in drama all the time, probably. This is more
right,
likely, you know,
spinning
it's
it
a
up.
pattern for them. You know,
Absolutely.
they can't get out of it. Like, okay, I'm never going to date a guy like this again. I'm never going to give anybody money. I'm never going to do this. And then the next person tugs at your heart and you're just like, oh, but I feel really bad and I could help them. And oh God, I'm a horrible person if I don't. And that's one of the things, because that's in your head. You convince yourself, I have to do this. You know, if I don't do this, I'm a horrible person, because you base your identity, your self-worth on
Yes, you
what you're
can.
doing.
Yes, you can. We'll arrange it. He's got a smaller channel. He's just getting started out. I think we can set this up, and maybe that can be a stream too. So.
Oh, God.
I'd be very pleased if, but wouldn't that make you the rescuer? See, I can fix this for you. See,
He
right
looks
there.
like the Ukrainian's younger brother.
I can fix it for you. See, Ellie, you just fell into it. You can fix it for him too. You can fix the hair. We got two rescuers right here.
But yeah, no, I
see
think
it.
you could find yourself in any of those roles. It's just, you know, you can get stuck doing the same thing over and over, either in your own mind or because people expect it of you. And, you know, going back to like the stuff that I talk about on my channel, like, you have those people who they absolutely cannot, and these are usually victims of narcissistic abuse, they can't not be a people pleaser. So they want to live up to everybody's expectations. So if somebody expects you to always, like, you know, be like soft and weak and whatever, you're going to stay in that role because that's where they put you. And maybe you don't have the confidence to come out of that. And you're always going to be a rescuer if that's what they expect you. They're like, oh, well, you know, go to this person or go to that person. They're always there. And so you can't let them down. There's that constant need to meet the expectation. And like I said, that's because you have a void of some type. There's something you're missing, something that you need that one of these three things fulfills. And the drama keeps it going because it keeps you necessary. You're pulled in. You're a part of something, where sometimes maybe you feel like you're not a part of something. Maybe better, like, how would I say, negative attention is sometimes the only attention you get. And maybe that's how you fall into one of these three things. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. I could be wrong.
No,
I could be right.
Good take on it. But you're right.
Yeah, see? You're not regretting it now.
It'd be crazy. I'm trying to think of the Billy Joel song.
Okay. You may
Could
be
be
right.
wrong. For all I know, you could be right. Right.
Yep. I love that song. Okay, what's next?
But you might also have noticed how sometimes when you help someone, you think you're just going to help them for a short period. You're going to fix their temporary problem, and then they're going to step into their power and take it from there. But that doesn't happen, right? Does it? You help them for a short period, and then what happens?
Yeah,
is they actually
eyebrows
want
grow
more help.
back.
Because what you've done is you've trained them to be helpless. You've made them more dependent on outside help and less able and willing to look after themselves, which doesn't help you, but it doesn't help them either. It's a drain of power from them.
Okay.
Because there's a way in which the rescuer is actually sending the victim the same message as the persecutor. The persecutor is saying, you can't handle this, you're hopeless. The victim is saying, yes, it's true, I can't handle it, I'm hopeless. And as the rescuer, when you're jumping in to fix a problem for someone and to help them out, at least officially help them out, you're also sending them a message underneath that of, I'm helping you because I don't believe you can sort this out for yourself either. Everybody's getting disempowered. And
The eyebrow
everybody's getting
example
stuck.
keeps coming back to mind.
And what you think
the
of
coach
as
thing
helping,
just clicked in
inverted
my head.
commas, might not actually be helping in the long term. Not you, certainly. And quite probably not the other people either, because what you're doing is perpetuating this negative, stuck state for everybody. And the last thing I'd like to notice about this is that anybody can be in any of the roles. We move around them. So you might have had the experience of helping someone and helping and helping and helping, and then they don't appreciate you and they're not grateful enough. So then you get kind of angry with them and you resent them. And then some point later, you're blowing your top at them. I can't believe that you won't even help me with this. after all the things I've done for you. And then you've turned into the persecutor, right? Now you're giving them a hard time. And then you have a big row, it all goes horribly wrong. And then you're on your own and you're sad and overwhelmed. And you start telling yourself it's absolutely hopeless. However hard I try, everything always goes wrong. And now you're in the victim mode. And it seems like you've tried everything, but actually all you've done is go round and round these same 3 positions. When you can see that and see that happening, then suddenly you're able to start stepping out of it when it does happen. Because it's going to carry on happening, right? But what we can do is spot it and start changing it so that you can have other options in your behavior and make the problem smaller and smaller and smaller anytime it comes up. So let's look at the flip side of that. Like, instead of everyone being stuck, this is a triangle of autonomy and empowerment. And the first part of that is the victim who's saying, I'm helpless, I'm powerless, there's nothing I can do. Switching into what David Emerald calls the creator stance, which is the question of what do I want? What do I want to create? Now here I've got a picture of a potter who's there at his pot, thinking of what he'd like to create in his life. The persecutor can switch from being a persecutor into a challenger, which I always think of as like a personal trainer who's saying, come on, I know you can do better. You're the champ. Get on with this. You can go faster. You can give me another 10 press ups. Come on, you can do it. So it's it's a challenging thing, but it's based.
Hang on 1 second. I gotta do
I
something
figured.
real quick. I have another opinion join us. Oh, yeah, here it is.
Your exercise tips on infomercials.
Wait! Exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people just don't shoot their husbands.
You're fired.
What?
I have new representation.
Welcome, Caitlin Comments. How you doing?
What is up, my people? Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
You came in much better than I did.
Yeah, right. She had a much better entrance.
I figured it, I'm not putting the camera on tonight just because I'm already like PJ'd up, but I can come in with a really happy spirit.
There you go. Love it.
So what do you think so far?
Man, I'm learning so much. I said it in the chat earlier. I'm really bad at judging myself. I don't know how to identify with any of these things. I can see like little parts and all of these little pieces that I identify with, and even the bad ones. Like, I've definitely been a victim or portrayed myself in that light, even if it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, we all do that, but I'm learning that it's there's different routes that we can all take, and there's better ways to do things.
Well, there's different degrees too, right? Like, you don't have to be absolute in one thing. People tend to do things to the extreme.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you could find like a more moderate, balanced way to go about things, I would think that you would keep yourself out of more drama than you would find yourself in it.
Yeah, I'm not good at balancing. I'm very much
No, me neither.
I don't know if it's that Aries in us, but those emotions take over, and I can't help it.
I just can't. I can't. But so, like, for coach, like, so you're saying rescuers, instead of being rescuers, become coaches because what, you don't want to take away somebody's autonomy. You want to make them more independent rather than make them more dependent, and make them feel better about themselves, like they can do it themselves, empower them rather than take it away. Right? So you're cheering them on, you're giving them guidelines, but you're making them do the work, and you're letting them like have a say. Right? Winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
Oh, geez.
I got something special after this. So after we get through this, I was just thinking, we're gonna take this in a different direction. But
okay,
let's you know that laugh
on a belief, an encouragement of someone to do better, rather than criticizing and blaming them for what they're not doing.
Where did they find this wish Benjamin Cumberbatch?
And a challenge, it could be a situation. It could be.
This was good. I just Googled. YouTube searched it, and he came up. I was like, let's give him a spotlight.
You can't see him in a superhero outfit? I can. As the younger
a situation
brother.
that comes up in your life
Yeah.
that's asking you to stretch yourself, to step out of your comfort zone and do more. And the rescuer can switch from being a rescuer and fixing everything for someone into being a coach, the person who is helping the creator figure out how they're going to do it. Great. So how are you going to do that? If you want to start getting out of that stuckness, you need to spot when you've slipped into one of the victim, rescuer, persecutor modes and start getting out of them. So let's look at the rescuer coach thing first. So when you notice that someone's trying to get you to help them more than you naturally want to, and you notice that urge to step in and fix it, what I want you to remember is to switch that into becoming a coach. So that means being curious and asking questions about how someone else is going to do this. So how are you going to do that? What attracts you to that? What's important to you about that? How long do you think it will take? These are all really great questions to ask someone, and it helps the creator figure out what the problems are. So you're helping, but you're keeping the power with them. The second thing you can do is when someone tries to make you be a rescuer, like someone with a victim mentality turns up and they're trying to get you to rescue them, is to spot what's happening. Having watched this video, you can see, aha, I can see this situation is trying to drag me back into that hopeless triangle. So learn to say no. Learn to say no, not because you're being mean, but because you want to avoid everybody getting stuck again. Because now you can see the most helpful thing you can do is to allow the victim to become a creator and to have that power in their lives. By saying no, you're saying yes to yourself, and you're saying yes to the belief that they can handle this for themselves. I'm not saying never help anybody. I'm just saying if you have a strong tendency to do that too much, you probably need to rein that in quite a lot and see what happens. And the third thing you can do is to learn how to empathize without doing anything. So if someone brings you a problem, instead of jumping in with advice and trying to fix it and doing it for them, give them the emotional empathy without taking over. So you can say things like, oh, that sounds really hard. That must be really difficult for you. I can see what a struggle that is for you. So you're keeping their life in their life and your life in your life. That's going to feel kind of weird for you because you're going to have a strong urge to jump in and do what probably you think of as real helping. Having thought this through in this video, what I'm hoping is you can see how that practical help can in the long term be quite disempowering to people and, of course, as you know, be very damaging to you as well. But then when you've helped too much and you're kind of feeling resentful and annoyed with the other people and you're in that persecutor mode, how can you switch from being a persecutor mindset into a challenger mindset? Well, the first thing you can do is to remind yourself that whatever's happened, if you overhelped, if you tried too much, you can remind yourself that you chose to do that. Other people might have asked you to do it, might have persuaded you to do it, but ultimately you stepped into that. And if you stepped in and you did it and you didn't want to do it, then that's kind of your mistake, not theirs. So, and I say that not to let them off the hook or to blame you, but to give you a way to stop getting stuck in the resentment and anger that can come from having helped more than you genuinely wanted to. You can start switching into a challenger mindset. So that might be going to other people, setting them challenges about what they can do for themselves. So you're loosening that up again. Might be setting a challenge for yourself to choose one person to say no to and actually do that. Might be learning to be more assertive. It might be setting yourself a challenge of doing something for yourself that you would find rewarding every day. And lastly, switching from a victim to a creator mindset. So the victim mindset is I'm helpless, I'm hopeless, there's nothing I can do. The creator mindset, like our potter there, is asking yourself the question, well, what do I want? It's a very simple question, but it's bringing to mind a whole different set of resources. Instead of focusing all your energy on the problem that you have, it's bringing your energy to what you would like to create. Then you can switch into some coaching questions you could ask yourself, like, how am I going to do that? What resources do I need? Who could I ask to help me? And if you've been like a rescuer, been in that rescuing mode a lot, then asking for help is going to be a big challenge for you because you probably don't do it, right? I know. You've been avoiding asking for help because it makes you feel uncomfortable. So this is a challenge for you to find people you can ask for help to help you create something that you would really want in your life. And if that feels too overwhelming, like big things can sometimes, you can break it down into little steps. So instead of thinking, oh, I'd like to run my own business, and then feeling overwhelmed because it's too far away, just think of, well, what's the next baby step that I could take to move me
nailed it.
closer towards that goal?
Hold on.
Baby steps?
It means setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time. One tiny step at a time.
Baby steps.
It works.
First of all, I don't pay property tax.
There you go.
Rescue a triangle, turning up over and over again. And having looked at it and watched this video, I've given you some ways in which you can flip out yourself out of any of these roles once you've spotted it into being a challenger, a creator, and a coach. But change in your life doesn't happen on an internet video, it happens in your actual life. So what I'd like to do now is to write down 2 insights from everything we've talked about and one thing that you're going to actually do as a result of watching this video.
All right, just send that to me and I'll take a look at it.
Well, I mean, it's about boundaries, isn't it? Because you tend to be one thing if you have none, but if you create some boundaries, you can transform into the, better version, the more, all around beneficial version. Like if you're a victim and you have no boundaries, you're just going to always be a victim. You're always going to complain about it. You're going to whine. You're going to whatever. If you put boundaries that, okay, I am not going to let myself sulk in this. I'm going to give myself 2 days to feel this. And then I'm going to do something, get the hell out of it and fix it and, take the next step. Isn't that basically what he's saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I think so. Yep. You know what you can do if none of that works?
Okay.
Power slapping.
Oh, I mean it most times, but no.
Kelly
I like my hands. That looks like it hurts. It looks like it would hurt my hands. No.
It's brand new, Ellie. You can get into this. Who wants to be a
Ellie's
power
like,
slapper now?
She said, do I have a little aggression left over? I think I could do this. Like,
Let's
do it.
It's a slow-mo. It's fantastic. Yep. I think that woman's going to be holding the title for a very long time.
Oh, Jesus. She just was like, hey, thanks. I'm like, oh, okay.
Ellie is training tonight. She's starting to train. She's like, I'm on the floor doing push-ups.
You can make a killing, girl.
So is her real name Bathory? Like, do you think, or is that like a stage name?
No, that's her real name. She's from Hungary.
So, do y'all know who Elizabeth Bathory is?
Yep. Yes, I do. My girl. Go ahead,
because that's the only thing that I could think of the entire time that her name was on the screen. And I was like, she has done bad things. She has done bad things in her past life.
I'm going to bathe in the blood of virgins to stay young. Yeah.
Yes.
Finding those nowadays, you'll get old just looking for one. Jesus. Before she take villages of them, it was like, send them all down. It's fine. I'll give you a goat each. Here you go.
I got a suggestion for chat. A good book, Boundaries by Henry Cloud. Boundaries.
Bathory is from Hungary. So I wonder if that's like a long lost descendant. I mean, wouldn't be lost because same last name still, but like, I wonder. Sorry, I'm totally taken away. My apologies.
For what? What are you apologizing for? I came on here and called the host a dick. Give me a break. You're good. You're golden. Jesus.
Boundaries by Henry Cloud.
You want to tell us what it's about?
Better than that. We just learn ourselves.
There we go.
You ask and you shall receive.
There you go.
This is him. Let's rock.
Hey guys, welcome to this little bitty snippet that I want to give you because if you're in boundaries,
hi Heidi,
and some of you are looking at it, there's, I talk so much about all the different aspects to boundaries and we go deep in it, as you've seen, and steps and all this. But I was thinking the other day with all of that, sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. meaning I'm going to draw a picture of this. So when you're reading and working through all this, you can remember what it is we're actually trying to do when we talk about boundaries and all the other lessons on boundaries.me. Here's the deal. Remember how I defined a boundary? Because we get confused. What's a boundary? You think about setting limits, or you think about doing an intervention, or you think there's a million different things, having a conversation differently. But basically, that's not the definition of a boundary. A boundary is, what did I say early on? It is a property line. All right. So if you own a piece of property, or you have a house, or you have an apartment, or whatever, there's this property line. Okay. And you go to the county records office and you have a deed to that property line that says your property is right here and your neighbor's property is right here. Property lines define it. Now, there's another one probably over here and whatever. Now, the thing is, you live in a neighborhood, right? There's people around. So that's why we have to define the lines, because what did we say about property? It also, this deed gives you control. You get to define what happens on my property, okay? Your neighbor can't say, oh, I think you ought to paint your house purple, because not only do you have control, you also have freedom to do what you want to on your property. As
Is this why T-Rex doesn't have boundaries? Because he doesn't pay property tax?
Property tax.
Every time he said property, I thought of that.
As long as you don't trespass, as long as you're not blowing up stuff or something that, breaks their windows or whatever it is. But here's what happens in relationships, right? Relationships, we live in community, we live connected to each other. And what happens is, on your property, and what's all the stuff on your property? Your feelings, your choices, your behaviors, your treasures, all of that stuff, that belongs to you. All right. And that works well. One more piece up here, as long as everybody is responsible for their own property. So if your neighbor is a good neighbor and they're responsible, they're taking care of their trees, for example. But what if they're irresponsible? What if they're addicted? What if they don't care about how the neighbor feels about the noise or whatever it is? What if they just let their trees grow and this big limb comes over and it falls over and it crashes in your property?
That would suck. I've had it happen.
Oh.
Leslie, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Loved you on Madcore, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. We had a good time over there tonight. I'm glad we got all that worked out, and I closed the chapter in everyone's life from that awful scene. What we say about well, and again, and thank you for the super chat, and you get a super chat video.
Jugs.
I love that video.
Thank you so much.
Always put the smile on my face.
It's a series of books, and the books are geared towards parents, workplaces, etc. Oh, that's cool. He seems like a really great guy. See, that was cute, Caitlin, with the whisper. It's not rocket science. I just mean, I think I've seen you in chat more recently than I've seen any of the other people I was saying hello to. Get it now? Gotcha. My bad. It's statism. All right, this guy's trying to say something.
We have something called, it's really interesting, in the world of faith, what the Bible calls, forgive us our what? Trespasses as we forgive others. See, now something they're doing is trespassing. It's coming over into your property without permission, and you are experiencing the consequences of somebody else not taking responsibility for their behavior. Maybe they're a rageaholic and they're not saying, gosh, I have a problem with anger. I need to call the anger, garden person and fix my anger. No, what they're doing is they're just spewing this out, and you end up with pain on your property. So what boundaries are about is defining your property and making sure that the relationships are relationships where you're being responsible. You're not yelling at them. You're not having trash fall over the fence, but also holding them accountable to what's going on over here so it doesn't affect you. Now, remember something else about boundaries. This is not a wall. These are permeable, okay?
Damn it.
So you have, how do I draw this? You have a gate, and you can close the gate or you can open the gate. Your neighbor walks over, you love your neighbor. They're so great. They're so nice. What do? You open up the boundary and you say, come on over. Let's have relationship, because they're bringing some good stuff. Like, they made you a cherry pie, or they
Knew it was
want to
gonna
give
be
you some
pie.
love or help, or just hanging out in a good way. Come on in, come on in. But then what happens if somebody wants to come in and last 46 times you were with them, they were hurtful? You go, no, I'm going to close the door. I can't do that. Sorry. Last time didn't work out well. Last 46
Pie
times didn't
sucked.
work out well. And the boundary is taking care of your own heart, mind, and soul. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about changing anybody, because remember, you don't have control of them. You can't make them work out their issues. What you can do is say, I just want you to if you're going to continue to use heroin, then you can go somewhere else. But if you're going to treatment and get sober, I would love for you to come in, because I want to help you with that. But they have to take responsibility. So a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going through that with a friend right now, distant friend, but old friend, and he called, figured out something was going on with him, reached out, offered to help, said he wanted to help, and then didn't decide he didn't want to. And after a bunch of us tried to help him, we had to be like, well, when you're ready, let us know. But until then, can't really deal with it too much. T-Rex 690, you got all kinds of crazy numbers coming tonight.
Yeah.
What is property? I've never heard this term. Is that the thing I don't pay taxes on? Yes. Your answer is yes.
So okay, so like
Absolutely.
this is more like if somebody's in a bad mood.
Right.
First of all, I don't pay property tax.
All right.
Yeah. So if somebody's like in a bad mood and they snap at you, you can turn around and tell them, listen, I know you had a hard day and you're feeling some type of way. I didn't do anything to you. So I'd really rather not take your bad mood out on me. Like maybe take a step back, take a minute, and come at me again with a different attitude. Like that would be setting a boundary, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
See, I'm not either.
Your property taxes paid?
I am not good at boundaries. I can't say no.
My boundaries are either you are cut the F off or you are in my life completely. Like there is no in between. I'm so bad at that in between.
Same. Oh, like that boundary thing. Oh, I can't. Go ahead.
You.
Oh. $2 super chat from Grimm's Bar. Rick's missed the part of the USG. Oh. What's the? I missed it too. What's it, part of USG? Oh God, he's gonna make me think about this.
I don't get it, Grammy. Why are you doing this to me? Why you hate me?
Rex missed the last part of
USG. These boundaries. I so need boundaries. I have
property
none.
of USG. Silly needs boundaries.
Yes, I do. I'm working on it.
There you go. I'm just gonna read it silently. Okay.
Own your own life and develop your yard. Come on. Your talents, your gifts, your dreams, your abilities. What do you want to do? How do you want to feel? It's depressing today. I want to get some help with kind of some mood lighting in here, right? And I want to get better. I want to get healthy. That's your life. That's your yard. And you are 100% entitled to taking care of your own heart, mind, and soul and thriving. What we want to do that is we want to do it with good neighbors. I don't want you living in outer space where you don't have any neighbors. We want community. But in community, don't ever lose control of your own property. See you next time.
Words of
That was
wisdom to live
awesome.
by.
That was awesome, Ellie.
Wow.
Yeah, no boundaries. I don't know when. We never had them growing up. You just did as you were told, and you didn't argue. So like as I grew up, I just did as I was told, and I didn't argue. It's very hard to say no because the guilt goes with it. I'm like, oh, I probably could have, and I'd probably like overextend myself, but I'd get it done. It doesn't really benefit me at all. It's actually like really draining, but I don't know. I don't know how to say no. I just don't. I mean, I know how, but I don't.
Different kind of boundaries, though. I mean,
Kirtland,
I've run into people that don't. When I think of someone who doesn't have boundaries, I'm thinking of oversteppers, right? Oversteppers who very much overstep. Like this one friend of, not really a friend, but a friend of the ex's that is does not. I mean, this woman has no clue what a boundary is at all. Like just none. Thinks that she can go in any of the yards she wants to and just do whatever she wants, and does not have a clue. Like it is never taught. She will cross any boundary at any time she ever feels like doing, and do it like cluelessly. Like doesn't even understand what a boundary is. Like never seen one in her life. So that's when I think of boundary. People without boundaries. I don't think of people who don't pull back. I think of people who just keep charging forward. Will just come in. They'll go in just come on in. They'll, park on the grass, go inside, go to the fridge.
That would drive me nuts.
Just anything. Nothing's off limits. It's very frustrating, and people like that tend to become not only they tend to become very controlling. They think that they have access to everything in the earth.
No respect.
Well, lack of boundaries is a lack of respect.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, in your scenario, yeah.
I have a question about boundaries, though.
I have so many. Go ahead.
With people that do overstep boundaries a lot, is it often that people have not put forth their own boundaries that cannot be overstepped, like told them, hey, you don't go here, or more often just people that are not good at handing out those boundaries and saying stuff like that and just stay quiet? Because I feel like a lot of the time when people have overstepped into my life, it's because I can't tell them to back the F off. I have a hard time saying that. I'm like, okay, I'll accept whatever you're throwing at me and I'll just deal with it.
You do fine. Like you just kind of capitulate.
Are we encouraging these types of behaviors by not helping ourselves and putting these boundaries out right?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like I think there's people that just don't understand boundaries, or they intentionally plan on crossing boundaries. And then there's sometimes that we're not clear enough about what our boundaries are. And I think the difference between the two is how the infraction, like how deep the infraction goes, right? If it goes, I'll send my stream over there I'll send my stream over there when we're done. So we're gonna redirect you. I don't think we'll go too long tonight. This is kind of it's a pop string for Thanksgiving week. I feel like it was timely to kind of throw these type of topics in tonight, and I appreciate Ellie for helping add to the show tonight and suggesting boundaries because it goes well with what we're talking about. I really like. But like I was saying, I think it's the level of infraction. How deep are they getting into your personal space and with these infractions, right? It's a little thing like maybe over helping or maybe over asking, over questioning, like that's personal, or oversharing or something like that. Or is it someone who's like literally trying to tell you how to raise your kid, or like trying to get in the middle of your relationship, something like that. So
bye,
it's just
Madcore.
See you, Madcore. Thanks, buddy. Had a great time tonight, man. Take care. I just put like a
Awesome
peace
strain.
sign up like he could see me. All right.
See, it's not just me. All right, I feel validated now. Thank you.
Oh yeah, the special Ed for Cook Frog. Here is your violins, the world's smallest violins. Please play them. Oh yeah, hey Mac. Oh, you already saw the meme.
He can't read words. You think he's gonna read music?
I thought that was a turkey leg.
You know.
Oh, I love you.
At first, I only saw it in the little side chat, and I was like, "Why is he sending turkey legs?"
It's Thanksgiving.
Can't. He hungry. Oh, there you go. Turkey for turkey. Oh, God. Okay.
Well, you know. Well, I think that the to kind of start wrapping it up here, man. I think we're gonna do a quick one tonight. But boundaries good, and all drama is.
I tried holding that one in.
Nah. For what?
Oh man.
Oh God, I'm crying. I got tears. I got tears. Oh, all right. Ellie said that's her boundary. It's okay. We'll respect your boundary, honey.
So
We'll
my
respect
only
it.
other question I had, I know you're trying to wrap it up, winning.
Oh no, it's
But
He's fine.
No worries.
he said that thing about like these boundaries aren't walls; they're permeable. Well,
Mhm.
at what point can your boundary become a wall? At what point do you take enough of it and set up this wall where you are no longer have access to me? Period.
I would think
Let's-
when you're at the. I'm sorry, honey. Go ahead.
No, you go
Yeah.
first. You go first. You go first.
All right. I would think when you're just at that point where you know that the abuse is happening, where it's just this person's abusing their privilege or abusing whatever benefit of the doubt you're giving them, and they're a constant repeat offender. Like if somebody's I don't think you would put up a wall for everybody, because that would turn you off to the world. So like, what if you put up instead of thinking of it like a wall, think of it like a door that everybody can key card into, but there's certain people who their key card don't work anymore. Like you revoke their access. Like think of it like that, because you don't want to block everybody out. You want to let other people in. It's just when they get to a point where now it's ridiculous and they're pushing the point, you're like, no, I'm done. Like you transgressed one time too many, and no, it's getting painful for me. When you actually suffer for it, I think that's when you put the wall up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take away their key card access.
Yeah. Yeah. Comes down to personal harm, or how uncomfortable it is, right?
Or
hey, Victor K,
even if
thank
it
you so much.
changes your character.
Appreciate that. She's been listening for a while. That's your rules.
Aw.
Appreciate it.
It's awesome. I mean, if somebody makes you act out of your character, like if they make you become something else, something that you're not normally, and now you're uncomfortable with your own actions, that's another person you cut off. You go, look, I don't like the person I am when I'm with you. And that's on me and on you, but I have to draw the line here. So this is where the wall goes up. This is where we can't interact anymore. Like, I've done all I can do.
I'm just thinking, like, personally, like, specifically my dad and
Mhm.
the stuff that we've had between us. Like, I haven't talked to him in over a year at this point, and that had me thinking, like, do I really need a whole wall up for him, or can I maybe open it a little bit and see where he's at? But then I have to think about, like, if he's not in a spot where we could reopen that relationship, is it going to hurt me more by trying?
You can give him a bank window. Right? No, like, there's something separating you, so there's distance, you're protected, but you can see him and there can be like mild interaction, but worst comes to worst, you go, no, I'm closed for the day, and you just shut it down for the day, and then the next day you try again, or the next week, or the next month. It doesn't have to be a permanent thing.
Yeah.
You could make it where you give them small opportunities, and if they don't go by the rules, be like, I'm sorry, you have to leave for the day. Like, no. Like, come back when you know how to act. And then if they think they did, what'd you do?
We made bread tonight, and I don't know if you heard that loud beeping, but that was my bread maker.
Oh, I thought it was just
No worries.
smoke detector. I was like, it's just whatever you were cooking.
That's scared.
It's ready.
Second time it's gone off tonight, and both times I've jumped out of my seat thinking it was a smoke detector. So you are not far off.
And related to some more comments I'm going to put up here, but related to what Caitlin was saying, Heidi says, I used to bend over backwards, like I had to be proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that they were basically evil. I gave people so many chances. I both forgot and forgave regularly. Dads are complicated.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Crib says, whoever got my Twitter banned by creating a account using my legal name, getting that account banned, then ban evasion reporting me. I hope you have a crappy weekend, and I do too. That's the lamest.
I hope they get stuck in traffic with explosive diarrhea and a crying kid in the car. Have a wonderful weekend. Passenger seat.
Victor says, blazing one for the nation, thinking about all the family and friends dynamics over the decades. Peace on Earth, nations, real nation topic. Awesome, dude. Thank you.
Nice. I mean, this is a really good stream for now because so much drama comes with the holidays and getting together with family.
Yeah.
They force you into certain roles. Like they've trained you to be a certain way.
Heidi says, I feel for you on that, Caitlin comments, and T3 is so correct. Having physical space makes it a little easier.
Yeah, no, I mean, he lives across the country, so there's plenty of physical space, but unblocking him from my phone and letting him have access is a whole different story.
Give him email.
Ooh.
Tell him if you want to talk to me through email. This way you can choose to read it. You could choose to stop and it's still going to be there. Or you can choose to just let it sit there for a couple days and be like,
if you're not ready for emo, start with smoke signals.
Carrier pigeons.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yep. Then you move to carrier pigeons. Yes.
Yeah.
Give it a little bit of room to write.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fine.
Oh god.
Ellie says Caitlin, parents aren't perfect. That's true. You do.
No, but some are a lot further from it than others.
Yeah.
The only thing I could tell you with that is no matter what, you got to give little chances through life, because I know, like, you've met my mother, you've heard my mother, and you've heard me talk about my mother. Yeah, Michelle. But I mean, the maternal love is just not there. She's just not that person. And, the faster I I learned to accept that, the better I think I feel toward her, because I don't feel as disappointed. So I don't have the same expectations when I know she's not that person. So
Oh my
I'm
God, that is such a
always
good
going to
point.
be disappointed if I keep thinking of her in that way.
The expectations. But your mom did do a great job trying when you were in the
Yes.
hospital. I was really proud of Mother Perez.
Yes, she did.
Yes.
Also, Mother Perez. I haven't told her that yet. She's gonna shit.
She made her way down to the hospital every day. You know, she got her walker out, and she walked the blocks and made it, and even had to evade exes to make it into the hospital. You make a video game out of that.
Frogger
Avoid the
edition.
Billy. Avoid the Billy. Go this way. Go that way.
Take this candy. Take the candy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, with the candy, I can't. And she brought me coffee, and eventually learned that I don't drink hot coffee. I drink iced coffee. So see, it's not too late. I mean, she's going to be 81 this week.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness. Happy
this is
birthday,
probably the
Shelly's
nicest she's
mama.
been to me. I know. She's 81 and still talks about sex every day. I say so. It the apple didn't fall
She still
far.
has it every day.
Yes, I know. She tells me all the time.
I was getting banged right before I came over.
Oh yeah, my husband, he just won't leave me alone. Shut up, Ma. Shut up. La, 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 la. I don't want to hear it. No. A visual person. Don't tell me. Stop it. Not fair. That's some form of like adult child abuse. I swear to God, that should not be allowed. But yeah, no, she did do better. And so see, there is hope. I didn't expect much of her. I didn't even expect what she did. Like, I really expected to not see anybody for 2 weeks while I was in there. And I was fine with it. I was resigned to it. And the first day that she came in, I literally I said, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I couldn't believe it. And she was like, "I can't come to see you." I was like, "What? You never did before?" I was like, I'm a little surprised. "I can't do anything for you, Michelle." I was like, no. I appreciate it. I was like, would have been nicer if you would have brought me coffee. And she was like, the next day she brought me coffee. I was like, "This is great." I was like, I don't drink hot coffee, but I'll try it. She was like, "What do you mean you don't drink hot coffee?" I was like, it kills my stomach, but I love iced coffee." "What kind of iced coffee?" I was like, "Oh, good, she's learning. Ask questions. I was like, "Oh, any kind. It doesn't matter." Because I didn't care. I would have had it without sugar, without cream. I wouldn't have cared. Just bring me something that I actually want, And she did. She did it every day. And it surprised me. And it made me feel really good, because I got used to seeing her, and it felt really good to have her visit. And that's not something she's ever been able to do, is make me feel good as a person. So it's like, it was really nice. It was really, really nice. So
I mean, it's how grandma got her groove back.
Yeah, right. With her walker. Her walker that she found in the garbage, because that's what we do here.
Shut the front door.
She doesn't need. It's just a fashion statement.
No, it was a good one. Yeah, right, Heidi. She showed up at the hospital. It's like, y'all know my mother. It's just that doesn't happen. Her
Can
hip.
I
You know what? If her husband
for her?
didn't break her damn hips, nothing will. So she's probably got the most freaking flexible hips in the world, bitch. Anyway, I hate that I know that. I hate that I know that. You have no idea how much I hate it. But I mean, Caitlin, there's hope. You just, I think you have to be upfront with him. Because this time when I went in, here, hold my teeth, that just makes her more attractive to him. I mean, really, think about it.
That's why
Ellie.
her husband's so into it.
Yeah, that's why he's so happy.
Teeth in or out? Out, please. I want him out.
I'm gonna die. Shut up, Caitlin. It hurts.
Gummy, nice and yummy.
No, this is my mother. That's what I ever do to you.
Nick Castro, what's going on, man?
Hi,
God. Oh, this is when your viewer count goes way down. But no, shut up. On a serious note, this time before I went to the hospital, and I said, do me a favor. I said, either be my mother or don't. I said, because you're terrible at it. She said, what? Like, she was surprised by this information. I said, Ma, I have never felt loved as your daughter. I said, you are not a maternal person. You're not, there. You don't want to put yourself out for anybody. It's always about you and your husband, you and your husband. I said, so fuck it. Why do you even bother come over? Why bother? Like, we could just be friends. Just don't call me I'll just be friends with you. And I was dead serious because I was done with it. And it took her a day or two. Yeah, it took her a day or two thinking about it. And it hurt me to say it. But I felt so much better because I was just like, you know what? I'm so tired of thinking you're going to do something and then you don't. And then I'm heartbroken. And then I feel like shit.
Oh,
And
yeah,
this was new information to her. It never occurred to her that I was hurt by the things that she didn't do. Because it wasn't the stuff she did do, it was the stuff she didn't do.
Right.
And once I told her, she was like, all right, it took her a day, and she was like, let me take a walk over and see what she's doing. And it was just like, oh, holy shit. Like, I couldn't believe it. And then I was like, oh, but that's one day. And then the second day, it was like she showed up and I really didn't expect it. And then I was like, okay, do I dare to hope that she does it tomorrow? And she did it the third day. And I was like, oh, this could be a pattern. She said, I can't make it tomorrow because it's going to rain. I was like, oh, look, she's setting my expectation. She's saying, look, I can't do it tomorrow. I want to, basically, but I can't. She's like, but I'll come the next day. I was like, okay. So I had that to fall back on. And she was consistent. She did what she said she was going to do. But I had to tell her, you suck at this. Like, you need to go about a different way. I'm 49. You still have not figured this shit out. Like, come on. And she did. It hurt her. I'm sure it hurt her.
Yeah.
But, she was the one who was slacking. I did everything I could as a daughter, but, could I have been nicer? Yeah, probably. But again, she sucked as a mother. So it was like, you get what you pay for. But yeah, once she knew, it was like something clicked in her head. So, that could be a way for you to go. Maybe not as brutally as the way I do it, but, or maybe, you never know. Your father, maybe he needs a little toughening up. He needs a little, hard truth.
Well, my cutting him off, I said a lot of things that were the reasons I cut him off. So I've said all of those things. I just haven't let him respond to any of those things. Because he is very narcissistic.
Same.
And I don't believe that he sees what he does wrong and how he's affected his children's lives. And so I told him all that. I was like, look, you're gonna learn today, buddy. This is what you've done. This is how you've made me feel. And this is why you're no longer gonna talk to me. I hope you do better. I hope you get the treatment you need, but you have to want that treatment. Because he's a hardcore alcoholic, like bad.
Yeah.
And that's the root of all evil with him. It is he's just an alcoholic, and that spawns the rest of his terribleness. But yeah, I straight up told him. I just didn't give him a chance to do anything about it.
Yeah, but you gave him time. You showed him that you were serious. You said plainly, what you thought, what you wanted, what you needed, I hope. And you let him sit on it. Like, let him think about it. Some people have to lose something to appreciate it.
Right.
So if he feels the loss of you, he might have more of an appreciation for the relationship that you two could have, because maybe he's seeing that you did all this to like reach out and try to improve the relationship and correct his, bad behaviors. And he just didn't step up to the plate. He didn't, put the work in. Maybe now he will. But you also have to tell him you corrected him, but maybe give him a goal. Like give him something to be like, you know what? I need you to at least do this for now for me to even give you a chance. And if he's not willing to do that, then you cut him off or he needs more time. But you don't give up. I mean, it's toxic as fuck at times, but without something to look forward to, like without a relationship with you to look forward to, you're taking away a positive from his life that he could work toward. You don't have to give it to him, but you can make him work for it. You get what I'm saying? Without it hurting you.
Chica Pete adds, Caitlin, sticking to it makes a huge difference. It's the only reason my father and I speak, even as rare as it is, because I made him aware I was serious.
Mm-hmm.
Elephant says, Caitlin, have you ever gone to Al-Anon?
Al-Anon. Yeah, I've been to quite a few of those meetings.
Yeah.
My dad spent an entire Christmas in an inpatient facility, getting quote unquote treatment, and we had to go sit through a weekly meeting there as his family members. And
yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't change his behaviors. I mean, that was 15, 20 years ago at this point. I mean, maybe not 20 years ago, but probably about 15 years ago. And 2 weeks after my daughter was born, he drove to Michigan from Colorado at 1:00 in the morning after drinking an entire handle of vodka by himself. So clearly he does not learn his lessons.
It's really difficult with the chemical dependencies, even when, like alcohol is still a chemical, with the substance dependency, because it changes everything about them. It changes their brain chemistry. It changes their personality. It dictates everything that they do. So if he's not willing to like work on that, then maybe just try for better communication and not frequent communication. Like make it more stretched out in between, but try to make it a little better. Like ask him questions. Don't let him lead the conversation. Don't let him, dictate anything. Be like, you know what? I was curious. Give him an opening where he can actually tell you something positive, that it's not going to be against you. Maybe he could tell you a story of somebody in your family. Ask him something like that. Get him interested in a dialogue where nobody is to blame, where there's no disappointment, where his alcoholism isn't going to be a factor. Just somewhere where he's relaying information to you in a positive way because it's something like a memory of his, something. Just to open that door and have something positive to put on the foundation. Because right now all you have is like negativity.
Jacob says, I didn't speak to him for months on end. And even worse for him was not seeing my daughter. Now we can civilly speak. So it's something. There you go. And T-Rex says, I see. Winning likes the girls on top, laughing my ass off. Yeah, especially when they're lumberjacking. So that's the truth.
Yeah, no, Shelly, I really liked what you said about giving him the option of having my email address. Then I don't have to worry. Like I can shut those notifications off.
Yeah, for you, I think it's important you have control. Because you've had a distinct lack of that in the past. Or at least you felt like you have a lack of control because he's probably a big personality to deal with when he's drunk. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to say the least. So, I mean, this puts the control, that puts the power in your hands, and you can deal with it or not deal with it as you feel is correct. You can regulate it.
Jacob Castro says, I grew up going to a potlucks, really eye-opening. We visited
Yeah.
guys in rehab. Heidi says, my dad will do one nice thing and I forget, and I'm shocked. Then it's worse the next time and I'm hurt again. Now I have to try to be more tough. Hate waiting for the other foot.
Shoe. She
The other shoe
corrected
to
it.
drop.
The other foot to drop. Yeah.
It's not like the foot.
Mhm.
It's no way to live. Yeah, I agree.
And that's where you develop that hypervigilance. When you have somebody like that who continually is, like I said, a repeat offender who keeps coming back and hurts you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's okay. Do it again. Because there's you got a week where they're going to behave or 2 weeks where they're going to behave, and then you're like, here it comes, and you're constantly waiting. Everything that they do, you're looking for them to trip up because it's coming, because they've conditioned you to believe that. It can be broken. You just have to be sometimes the one to break it. You have to say, no, I'm not going to participate in this anymore. You're not going to change. We need a break. Go away for a while. And and just get some distance, make them either be alone or make them face themselves. But either way, they're not in a position where they can hurt you anymore. And that's what you want to do. You need to learn to protect yourself without shutting everybody out.
Yeah. I liked a lot what you said about not having expectations for your mom too. I recently read the book Unf Yourself. It's like a self-help book. I had to read it for school. I didn't read it for myself. I had to read a self-help book for my stupid senior class project, and I chose the one with the cuss word in it. Yes.
Of course you did. My girl.
Shelley once wrote a
also
book
got-
called Go F Yourself. Yes, that one up.
Pretty much. No, that's Jessica's stream. That's Jessica's
Jessica read it, and she's exercising all the principles of it on her stream.
One of the
Right.
main points of it was you have to stop having expectations for everything. And I'm one of those people that I expect a lot. And I expect a lot out of
Same.
myself. I expect a lot out of my family. I expect a lot out of the people I work with. I try not to expect a lot out of my friends because I'm a shitty friend and I can't expect people to be a better friend than I am.
Oh my God. I'm going to get you to stop saying that one day. Jesus.
But it really it is one of those things. I almost need a daily reminder on my phone, do not have expectations.
So make one.
I don't know how
Set
to
yourself
do that.
set yourself an alarm that just pops up at the same time every day with a specific sound or song just for that alarm, and have it set up for every single day to tell you, remember, don't have expectations. Hell, set up 2 of them. You might need one by about 3:00 in the afternoon when you're, winding down or getting ready to go home. You're just like, okay, don't go home and think things are going to be bad or great. Because if you go into something even with negative expectations, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy half the time. You have set it up and you will make it happen. And you'd be like, I don't know why this happened. It happened because you expected it to, and you set yourself up and you allowed it. You opened the door for it.
You could also write a catchy song so you can whistle it to yourself. So Victor says, came to accept that she's crazy. I think he's talking about his mom. It's strange for years, but she kept me alive when I was a baby, breastfed me, kept me alive when I was totally dependent on her. That's very cool.
Sometimes it's a really high price to pay for just a couple years of, okay, they didn't die.
Yeah.
I kept them fed and warm, kind of, but I didn't give them anything else. You got to nurture the insides as well, because otherwise they're not trying to damage you, but they're damaging you more than if they starved you to death.
Yep.
You can
Heidi wants you just to remember
affection.
Shelley just wants Shelley to remember that she's right. Yeah.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
So nice.
Heidi's always very reaffirming for me. She validates me all the time.
Shelly is right on like 90% of things. I mean, she's really got
Except
to know
Shelly's
for
life.
it.
I'm great with your shit, but my own, that's what I have him for.
Said 90%.
Yeah, but that 10% could be woof. Because when I step in it, I step in it. So, Ellie, yes, I suffer from FOMO. Sounds like a car went airborne at Niagara Falls. Okay, whatever. Anyway, go ahead. So, what are we doing?
Oh, did you hit a lull there? Hold on, I'm trying to put the comments back. Okay.
FOMO that you
Well,
weren't in the car that went airborne, or I'm confused.
Fear of
Why
missing out.
FOMO?
Yeah, it's like
What are you missing out on? The car that went airborne?
the
Being
car
in
that
it?
went boom. I mean, I literally
Yeah.
sent the expert a thing that said "Happy Thanksgiving, no booms." Like, I don't want any booms.
Heidi says, "Yep, so true. I was the same way, Caitlin. I have really high expectations of myself than others. It blows my mind when I realize I can't expect people to be as awesome as me. I'm just effing around, kind of."
You are not. You are awesome. I love my Heidi. Aw. I told you before. My saying is, not everybody is a loss, but if it's me, you fucked up. So that's just go through your life thinking that. What's the harm in that? Just have some, like real value in yourself. Like, don't let people know that you're insecure. If you don't feel like super, super confident, or if you feel like really low or, like worthless one day, the worst thing you could do is let anybody see that, including yourself. Like, then you have to do, oh, God damn, the affirmations. That wasn't what I was thinking, but no, like, you really do have to build yourself up sometimes. You would do it for somebody else, but you have to do it for yourself as well.
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
And we are all counting on you. That the size of that nose. I love Nick. But I can't. If only his shoulders were like his nose. I'm kidding, Nick. If you ever hear this, I'm kidding. But
I feel like we could have a sleepover in that nose.
Like go camping.
I was gonna say something else, but I'm not gonna. Yeah.
So
no.
So I'm feeling kind of like this right now.
Hey, buddy, you tired?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't keep your eyes open?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been nodding off a little bit.
Yeah.
It's okay, buddy.
Yeah.
If you want to go to sleep, you go ahead, go to sleep. I'll.
Aww. Go to bed winning.
Yeah, I think it's time to hit the old hay. But I guys, we're gonna redirect to MG Law.
Awesome.
I believe he's juggling fire over there, so that should be pretty good.
Nice.
And we are, yeah. He's been going at it for 2 hours straight, so it should be it should be hot.
Or burnt.
Hot or burnt. Yeah. So no show tomorrow. We were gonna do a Thanksgiving stream, but listen, the broken baker has broken the internet, and he's gonna do one for like 10 hours. So I can't beat that. So maybe we'll pop in over there and just hang out, and if it gets too crowded, maybe we'll just come back here for the after party. I don't know. We're playing it by ear because it's Thanksgiving Day, and everybody will be having lots of fun. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Thank you for coming here tonight and hanging out for our stream. It was a wacky one, and we did all kinds of different things, and it was a lot of fun. It's been a wacky day, but it's been a great day.
It has. It's been a big day. It's been such a big day.
The end of an error.
An error. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. And just one last time, just to talk, the biggest takeaway from tonight is just remember that drama is. We'll be back Saturday night.
I'm
we'll
going
be back
to hell.
Saturday night, 9 p.m. for Winning Saturday Night, my weekend talk show. And this weekend I will have on the Broken Baker himself. Well, guess we'll talk about his 24-hour Thanksgiving stream, amongst many other things. I haven't had him on for an interview yet, and we haven't had a lot of times to hang out, so it should be a good time. And we'll have a lot of fun. I'll come up with some fun stuff for us to do. And of course, we got the new bits and all the things we're doing for Winning Saturday Night. Hopefully to be your number one weekend talk show. So hope to see you there. And on Sunday at 8 p.m., even though when this week says 8:30, it's probably 8. Then why someone will come up and it'll have to be 8:30. So I don't even say anything. Thanks, Lex. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll save some of these for the outro. We'll have we're gonna be doing The Corporation. The Corporation is a documentary from back in the day. It won some awards. I hope it's good. I remember it being like it's more like the psychology. Like it's about personhood. Corporations is personhood. So we treat them like people, right? And how they got that whole personhood status, right? So it's a look into that. I think it'll be a good little debate in there too. So we might get some pushback, and we might get some a lot of agreement. Who knows? It usually goes either way. And then after that double feature, we're going to be watching Office Space, the very classic movie that anybody who's ever worked in an office can completely relate to, especially in the tech industry. Yes, we'll be watching Office Space. I think The Corporation and Office Space are a nice match. They go well together. So I hope you guys will join us. What we do is we have a kickoff show here for about 30 minutes, and then we head on over to Rumble and we watch the whole thing over there. We watch everything over there. Bro, that's how we're doing it these days. It's like kind of a Rumble night, but we kick off here. We just have conversations. We read the descriptions of the movies, and we wait for everybody to show up and talk about what we're eating and things like that. And so I'll be back. Caitlin, I know that you said that you're going to be unemployed soon, so that's awesome. And you'll be having a lot more time at home. And Shelly, thanks. I'm glad I caught the end of this, y'all. I love you, Shelly. Stay strong, Caitlin. You're an amazing woman, and winning. You ain't so bad yourself. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate that. I'm working on it.
He's awesome.
I'm working on it, and
awesome.
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
Yep. Okay, I'm trying.
You're two of my favorite people, and I don't like many people. That says something.
Same.
So that's it, and we're gonna get on out of here. And hey, guys,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And until next time, keep on winning.
This is a friendship that